So basically, obviously this is a much more expanded game on Darksiders 1, to going to Darksiders 2, vaster environments. And from an art point of view, yes, this is a greater challenge. We do have far more loot, far more customization. If we both played Darksiders 1, we'd probably end up with War looking roughly similar. But if we both play Darksiders 2, by the end of it, we'll have relatively different looking characters. So yeah, there's a massive amount of work having to be done to build all that loot, and there's a lot of it. We're a smaller studio than most of the giants, because we're ambitious. We're kind of like the little barking dog who wants to get attention. So we've had to, I think maybe the studio art director coined the phrase, we've had to become the 300. So each one of us had to really bring to bear our skills and do a lot more than what we normally would have done, let's say in a much more massive studio. But obviously everybody's passionate about the game, so that also helps. So I think it's quite an achievement, actually.
The story takes place during the 100 years of War's imprisonment in the first game that he references. And so it's really, since it's happening at the same time, you get to see a lot of what was going on behind the scenes. And Death's adventures take him outside of Earth for the most part. So you get to see all new worlds and things like that. And, Death's humor he doesn't crack jokes, but it's just funny how little respect he has for the law and for the other really important. He'll be in the kingdom of the dead and just mouthing off to the Lord of Bones or whatever, and it's just funny because he doesn't tell jokes necessarily. He's just very disrespectful.
You offer so little. I have an offer in mind.
Death has his own mount called Despair, and Death and Despair, and unlike the first game, you don't have to. You start the game with your steed this time out, and the overland travel is a lot more integrated into the game. There are a lot of side quests that have you traveling back and forth, and so I think the world was more carefully designed around having a horse, whereas in the first game you got ruined pretty late in the game, and it was just something you worked toward.
It's a big deal for us because we were able to do a lot of stuff we wanted to do on the first game. This is probably truer to the first game we really want to do, incorporating loot and a lot more exploration, probably more traversal and agility into the character. But it makes sense anyway because, for us, Death is the agile character, War was the stoic kind of, battering ram of a character.
The sheer number of weaponry comes in the variety within the class. You saw one of the claws, but there's dozens, if not hundreds, of just claws alone. And they look different and they function differently, and there's different hammers, clubs, maces. There's it really is into the hundreds at this point, and we're still making variations right now. So we'll see.
I think you're going to find that this is a really rich, in-depth environment, great gameplay experience. We've expanded on Darksiders 1. I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff for friends to share as well. I think we're trying to create kind of elements which are tombs where you can leave loot and equipment for your friends. It's a much more in-depth experience, a lot of customization. It's a pretty big world to explore, and hopefully it's a really, really epic looking environment.
Is he the end of man or the beginning?